Hello, everybody. Welcome. So happy to have you here as we are about to discuss one of I know someone is particularly excited about this as we will be going into a storyline with his favorite ultimate arc villain in Sailor Moon. But first and foremost, I want to say, Arcasol, thank you for becoming a new member at the Grave Master level. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Jade Shadow, hello, darling. It's so good to see you. Storyman Jack, greetings. Faye, how are you? And now that we did that rundown of all of you beautiful people in the chat who have said hello, hi, Lethal.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. Like you said, this is this is actually probably, I don't know, it's probably my favorite arc. I've also been rewatching this part of the anime as well. And I think it's fair to say that this is the most different from manga to anime, this arc.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot slower, but you can say that about all of the anime. But there's actually quite a few story changes. It's definitely a lot different, but my girl Galaxia, I love her. I love her.
We do. So are you saying you would let Galaxia step on you, Lethal?
I would encourage her to step on my hand.
On your hand?
Please.
Okay. Hey, why not? So are you gonna start selling feet pics?
Yes. Yes, I am. Where would you rate this one? This whole story arc?
The whole story. So this entire story arc. Oh God. Yep. The more that we've gone through in depth, because I definitely had fonder memories of R. I was definitely, and we've talked about this. Like the rose tinted nostalgia glasses were definitely there. I would have to say that Beryl is still my favorite, just because of like who she is, how she is, and the incredible storytelling with that first arc. But Galaxia would have to be my number 2, honestly.
What about as a conclusion?
I think bittersweet would probably be the best way I could describe this. I think that it really what this does that the other ones did not do is Serena fails a lot in this one on a personal level. Her devotion and loyalty to Darian is it gets tested, and there's a few times where she almost like relents and gives up. Like she at one point, she, if I remember right, I don't know if it's in this, I don't think it's this volume, but she just kind of she lets herself imagine a life without him and what that could mean, and she's never done that before.
She definitely takes a lot of L's. I mean, this whole volume is basically her getting her ass kicked.
Yep.
And Galaxia just keeps taunting her throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's one part that I really like is when, she's telling herself like, nah, I know how the future goes down. It's all good. We don't have to stress too much. And Galaxia is like, oh, do you really think that's how it goes? Really? Look around. Look at what's happening to you. Do you seriously think that's how this all plays out? And she starts to question herself.
Yeah.
She sees her friends just get obliterated right in front of her. And she's like, I can save them. I can go save them. And Galaxia just appears to her. She's like, do you really think you can? Like, you just saw what I did, and you seriously think you can save them?
Mm-hmm.
She just starts planting a lot of doubt in her mind, and then you got the Starlights on top of that. That's a whole nother conversation in themselves. The Starlights. Yeah. How do you feel about them?
I would have actually really liked if they didn't turn into like I still want them to turn into the Starlights, but I would prefer if they had stayed dudes and like kind of been
it's the
the
more you
answer
think
to
about
succeed,
it, the more you're like, okay, how does this work? Because
right?
they're dudes. And I get the whole pop star thing. I think that makes sense.
Yes, the pop star
Um,
thing definitely makes sense.
yeah, especially, you have all like teenage girls being like, oh, boy band, all that type
Yeah,
of shit.
very
And then when they
K-pop.
very extremely actually, and then when they transform, they turn into women,
Yeah.
and you're like, why? Okay, I don't see what this accomplishes, but okay, that's a
Yeah.
thing.
That is a thing. And you're like, okay, so are you saying that only women can be sailor scouts or sailor soldiers? And you're like, okay, well that kind of makes sense, but then like why does Darian get to be Tuxedo Mask? Because he didn't know he was Prince of Earth when he was turning into Tuxedo Mask. He didn't know that. Um and so like I just wish that I think it would have been more compelling because one of the Starlights is part of the reason that Serena really starts to doubt herself. Um,
Yes,
is
he sees his chance.
Yeah, he sees that crack, and by God, he is gonna stick his foot in that door.
They
Um,
push that. Like I said, I've been rewatching this part of the anime. And they definitely push that a lot more in the anime. There's
yeah,
like a part where he takes her to a club. It's all wholesome. His intentions are wholesome, just to let her relax and dance. And he's going to use his VIP status to get her in and all that type of stuff. But prior to that, she's talking with Uranus, and Uranus is like giving her the whole like, "Hey, be careful around boys." They'll. She uses like an analogy of like a wolf will devour the lamb before the lamb knows what's going on.
yep,
And then while they're at the club, he takes her into the back room, and he's like, "Oh, is this your first time? I'll lead the way." And she's all like, "Holy
yeah,
shit, this is getting out of hand." And all he's meaning by that, obviously, it's very sexually implied,
yep.
but all he meant by that was, "You've never danced like this before. Just I'll show you how to move."
I'll
That's
show you how
all it
to
is.
move. Yeah,
So there's a
but
lot of that going on as well. And he like every day when they're at school together, he basically acts like he's her boyfriend.
yep. Very much so. And it's very bizarre for her. And like he throws himself at her a few times and she's like, "No, like my heart belongs to Mama-chan," or like this is not, as far as I know, there is no dub. Um cuz it was considered too spicy for America. I think the Starlights actually being going from male to female had something to do with that. Because if they make Uranus and Neptune cousins,
Oh yeah,
I have no idea how they would have been able to dub this the way that in a way that would have still made sense.
you'd have
But
to completely redraw him.
yeah, they would have had to. But the Starlights, like she rejects him, and then like he eventually is like, okay, you say that you love him, you say he loves you, but where is he? Like, when did you last talk to him? So she's got this personal battle going on too, because Darian has been her everything. Forever, like it's only ever been Darian, but
Yeah,
now he's off at college in America. He's going to this course in America. And so now in her personal life, she's doubting their, like, if he really loves her. And because everybody's like, oh, boys go to college and they just forget about their girlfriends, and she's
yeah.
like, no, that won't happen, like we're destined for each other. But it goes, when you find out everything that happens, you're just like, oh my God. um it's so insane. And but so between Galaxia, absolutely, look at that picture.
Yeah.
um between Galaxia absolutely destroying her confidence as a sailor soldier, as Sailor Moon, as Princess of the Moon Kingdom, and the future Queen of Earth. Um, and then in her personal life, she no longer has Darian as her rock, and she's got this other. She has this other individual who's very much inserted himself into her life and is, trying to break the foundation of her and Darian. She's kind of fallen apart.
But I will say though, with the Sailor Stars, is they really, I guess it can be said about this whole arc though, is it really opens up the scope of the whole universe as well.
Mhm.
Like Galaxia herself existing, the fact that there's other Sailor Guardians spread across the whole universe,
Yep.
and Usagi didn't know this. In this one, we get to like because you know how there's always been like, you know, Mars, Jupiter, blah blah blah. And this one, we're at the stage where we're making up planets, like, you know, we're going like Star Wars style. We're just making up planets at this stage. And they all have their own sailor guarding, obviously. And one thing about this one that is really crazy is this is essentially Sailor Guardian on Sailor Guardian hate crimes.
Yeah.
This whole thing is full on. But while I was rereading, I wanted to go back on over this because this one really stands out to me. Is Galaxia. Now, when was this one published? This one must have been published late 90s, I would assume.
Yeah, I think 98, 97.
This Galaxia, I don't know, maybe it's because of like a lot more of the media that I grew up around. She's given me big time Thanos cross Bane vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No,
she's all
yeah.
like, I will break you, you know. I was wondering what would break first. And plus the whole fact she wants to like take over the galaxy and all that type of shit. And she is absolutely relentless. Like when they talk about her just taking over planets, like this bitch don't fuck around, man.
No.
she's not your typical anime villain. I'm gonna give her a long drawn out speech. She's just there to put her foot in your face and move on.
Pretty much. Yep.
I agree. Barrel kind of set the standard, and there's definitely a lot of cool villains between Barrel and Galaxia. None of them really live up to Barrel.
No.
But everything about Galaxia, like if this was a video game, you would look at her and go, final boss. That is the final boss.
There is no question. I mean, just look at her entire outfit. It's similar to the Sailor Scouts, but it is like next level intense, and just by the way that she's drawn to carry herself and her facial expressions and the way that she like, I mean, she's all leg in that picture right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but
yes, she is.
She's just, at no point in time do you question if she is in control or not.
Oh, it's very clear. Because everyone that they're fighting throughout this story as well, like all like the little underlings, they're wannabe guardians. And I reckon it's so cool the way like Galaxia, they talk about towards the end how like Galaxia would approach women with like, you know, ambitions of power and all that type of shit across all these different planets that she was conquering. And they were kind of jealous of the fact that they weren't a Sailor Guardian. And she was like, hey, if you serve me, I can turn you into a real Sailor Guardian. And the fact that she basically has them enslaved with bracelets, which gives them powers. And she can like just snap the bracelets at like a flick of her hand and then they get evaporated. Because everyone that they're fighting wants to be a Sailor Guardian. Okay. So like I said, this is Sailor Guardian on Sailor Guardian crime. This is as close as it gets to like an all-out war. And one thing that they do very differently in the anime version is the whole mystery of what happened to Mama-chan. It's revealed in this one that she has him. Galaxia has him. I haven't finished rewatching the anime yet, but I'm towards the end, and they still have no idea where he is. They still think he's in America.
Yeah.
And not riding back. But there is another thing to point out with this one. Chibiusa very quickly fucked off.
Yeah. She's yeah.
They get rid of her really quickly in this one, and then they bring in someone who I actually prefer, Chibi Chibi.
Chibi Chibi.
I will take Chibi Chibi over Chibiusa anyway, any day.
Yeah, she's adorable. And also and of course, which you find out
cousins.
Cousins. Chibi Chibi's plan all along, like when you find out more about Chibi Chibi, but of course, the Sailor Guardians, the Sailor Scouts are all like, is this another daughter of Neo Queen Serenity and King Ednamon? And you're like, what? And you know, they were like, well, time travel, and maybe the Rini we have right now doesn't know that she has a sister. So they're trying to like figure out why they would have never, not that Rini ever told them anything useful anyway.
Yeah, no shit. She totally would be like, oh, by the way, we have 4 brothers and 3 other sisters.
Right? It's like Like you and my dad, like, so like my mom and dad actually had 12 kids. Like,
Yep.
it's not just me. I'm just the one that breaks the galaxy like every 6 months.
um, oh, excuse me. The thing with Chibi Chibi as well is like there is the whole mystery element behind who she really
Yep.
is. Chibi Chibi in the anime, within like her first episode appearance, they quickly discover that she's not a daughter.
Yeah.
Because Sailor Pluto is like, nah, trust me, there's only one kid. If anyone would
Yep.
know, it would be me.
Yep.
Which makes sense. That doesn't happen in this one.
Mm-mm.
And I reckon in the anime, they wanted to copy Pikachu because the
Oh.
timing kind of lines up.
Yeah.
Because in the anime, all she says is chibi chibi,
Yeah.
chibi chibi. That's all she says.
Chibi chibi.
Where
Yep.
in this one, she mimics. So you
Yeah.
go, stop mimicking me, and she'll say, stop mimicking me.
Mhm.
She's like that, and then little do we know how powerful she actually is towards the end.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But yeah, Chibi Chibi greater than fucking Chibi Usa any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
The way they got, and the thing with Chibi Chibi as well is they do what we said they should have done with Chibi Usa. They pick a lane right from the go.
Mhm.
Like from the get go, she is portrayed as just a baby essentially.
Yeah.
And one thing that works out really well with that is we see Usagi kind of automatically take a mother type role to her because she is kind of convinced. Oh God, we know what that looks like. Steph drew that picture. She automatically takes a mother role to her, thinking that she is her daughter. But I think that just goes to speak for Usagi's character as a whole. You know, she's so retarded but wholesome and sweet at the same time. And that's another thing this volume does is they push her back to her dumbass roots. Like she does a lot of stupid shit in this one as well. But then
it's like Darian leaves and she just she default factory settings basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And then with that, you have we're back to all the other Guardians being like, "Holy fuck, Howie! You should not have this much powerful. You should not be this powerful. You are dumb as shit." One thing though is I feel bad for her mother, right? Because if you think about it, her mother has spent, including this story arc, 4 story arcs under a spell, thinking she has a family member that she doesn't have. We see her pick up Chibiusa's glass or her coffee cup or whatever it is that she drinks hot chocolate out of. And she's like, oh, who does this cup belong to? Because Chibiusa's already fucked off. So her memory's been wiped about that. And then when Chibi Chibi comes, she's back under a spell to thinking that she has a second daughter. Poor woman. She's just been under a spell the whole time. And what the fuck happened to her brother?
I know her brother's just gone. Like I think in the anime, I think he like there's like a brief moment, but I think that's in S or even Super. Like that might be S or Super S. But he's like, "Okay, mom, I'm off to computer camp," and so like he's just been at computer camp for years. Like
he went to computer camp and never came back.
Never came back. Yeah.
And her dad is very briefly in this one, but see, we're less than like 10 pages into it, and Mama-chan's already been abducted, and then there's she gets like her mind wiped like right in front of her. So pretty much like there she is, like there's Galaxia 10 pages in, gone bang, him done, out of the picture. This whole bloody story arc is just everyone getting fucking knocked off the board real quickly as well.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks volumes when you think of like throughout, especially the last story arc as well, is like the underlings were really weak.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they put up a hell of a fight. They do a lot of damage as well. Then Galaxia is like, nah, you're trash.
One of them, I think, actually takes out like half of the city, and it's still not good enough for Galaxia, and she just vaporizes her via bracelet.
Now, I know it's a bit of a jump ahead, but what do you think of Galaxia's backstory?
How can I phrase this so I don't sound like a complete bitch? I
agree with Galaxia.
Like, kind of, so like, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what's going on, right? it's Galaxia is wrong, but her motivation makes sense. Like, this isn't, she's not just like power hungry for no reason. And she's not, I mean, she's not powerful for no reason either, but she, like, her whole plan is to basically, it's not even for order. It's so that there's not any more, I don't know how to, it's like the dictators who think they're the good guys almost. Like, she is very aware that what she's doing is not good, but very much for her the ends justify the means. And so she'll wipe out anyone that is not in line with her ultimate vision.
To me, and I know Mara's in the chat, so it's like any Star Wars EU fan, she's essentially a Darth Kaitis type character.
Fair.
She knows that what she's doing is fucked up, but she's
Yep.
like, if someone doesn't do it, we're all fucked.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, I'll be the villain. I'll do it. And you got to remember, this is before, long before the whole sympathetic villain was overdone. And I'm not saying she's sympathetic. She has killed a lot of people. A lot.
Millions.
Trillions, gazillions, like planets upon planets.
Like,
she's out there blowing them all up.
She's like wiped them. Like, I think, didn't she say it like at what, like she blinked and like a million people died?
Yeah.
And it does not faze her.
No.
And she's like, it, because it's necessary. Like, she's literally saying it's necessary. She basically goes to these planets. She handpicks who she thinks should survive. And she's like, okay, bye everyone. Like, anybody that she
you get in, the rest of you dead.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, I quite like her, man. And you can't help but feel like, you know, there's like a moment where you see her like wake up in the morning, and she's just like an everyday person, you know, wakes up, you know, oh god, damn, gets out of bed, and like from the second you're like she gets out of bed, you're like, she doesn't seem that evil.
Mm-hmm.
She just seems like she just seems like another Sailor Guardian in all that sense, you know, long hair, long legs, and all that type of stuff. But she gets out of bed and she has a dream of like what it was like before she, quote, found her meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the second she gets out of bed, you know, like she gets, you know, one of her like it's one of, I think is it Sailor Aluminium?
Yeah, Sailor Aluminium.
Siren, yeah, reports to her. She's like, yeah, I failed, and she's like, yep, fuck you, dead.
Yep. Like, right there, there is no second chance.
Again, I know we've said this before, but this whole thing is a Sailor Guardian war. Like, they're all fighting each other. And I think that's something you never really see.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that for me, especially now that we've been going back through the series as a whole, this is legitimately like, if Beryl could have had Sailor Guardians, like, because she turned the Knights, so like she had the Knights, but she did not ever have any Sailor Guardians. And so, you know, if she would have been able to create her, or realized she could have created her own Sailor Guardians rather than Negaverse minions, she would have absolutely done it. And so that is really the separating factor between Beryl and Galaxia. Is Galaxia was like, she perfectly entraps them because she's promising them all of this power to help them realize, you know, how important they actually are. And then the bracelets are perfect because like they're literally handcuffed. Like, it's
the handcuffs. Yep.
Yeah, they're handcuffs, and you're just like, damn.
And then of course we have the Starlights as pop stars. I really thought the idea of making them pop stars just works perfectly, because even Mercury has a bit of a fangirl moments throughout this whole thing as well. So
this is one of the few. Yep.
But the thing with the difference between Beryl and Galaxia, how do I put this? It's like, I agree with you. At that stage, Beryl would have wiped the floor with him.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about how they were then compared to how strong they are now, I don't think Beryl would be that much of a threat to them anymore.
I don't think so either. But
in the last story arc, Helios, I think Helios points at Sailor Moon and says, "Oh, you're as powerful as your mum now."
Yeah. Yep. And but it's so interesting because they would not have become she wouldn't have become that powerful if she didn't go through Beryl first.
Oh, absolutely.
So at this point, yes, Beryl would technically would not be the same level of threat that she had been when she was their initial villainess, but I think too, like, even Wise Man wouldn't have really been that much of a
No.
threat. But like with this one, because you have Sailor Lead Crow is the other one, right? She's the
Yep.
orange one.
Yep.
And it's just partly your heart kind of almost breaks for these women because, and I think the other difference is Galaxia is so powerful that she does not even consider she doesn't consider giving these women power any kind of threat. Whereas Beryl, the reason also I think Beryl never would have made sailor soldiers herself, like for herself, was because Beryl did not want to share power. Galaxia's got so much that, like, entrapping these women to her service and giving them this power does not in any way threaten Galaxia. Like,
Yeah,
she's
it's
not
nothing to her.
intimidated. Yeah, it's not like she can, and it's not like I say she gives a little bit of power, but it's a little bit of her power to her. She has like galaxies worth of power. So giving these women these bracelets, or rather these cuffs, of power to serve her, it doesn't even phase her. Like, she could continue to do it because that is just how much that's just how much she has, which is just incredible and insane to think about.
Here's another thing for you. I really like the fact how it's Uranus is the first one to be suspicious of the starlights.
Oh yeah. Well, but remember, this makes a lot of sense because she was the one who let the inners think she was a dude for a long time.
Yeah.
And so she's that very masculine thing.
Oh,
She
she's the
knows.
top.
Yeah, she's the top. She's the one who kind of knows really, like, how manipulative public figures and like powerful figures can be. At this point, it's not even so much like she can sense that there's power coming from them. But remember, these are the same women who were like after heart crystals. And so like they know that there's different bits of power. So they're like, could it just be their talent that makes them shine this bright like a star? Or is it something else?
Well,
So like,
her and Neptune did a similar thing where they used like their VIP status to get around easier, and how they had that crazy fucking apartment that I think like Jupiter walks in and she's like, I could never afford this. Because she's a race car driver and Neptune's a musician.
yep.
Because that's how they get this gig together. It's like, hey, I'm actually doing a song with them. So, we do a show together. So she kind of you're spot on. Like, she has every right to be suspicious because they're essentially pulling the same card as her.
Yep.
Now we get our first villain here, Iron Mouse.
Okay, so like I know
Definitely the weakest.
definitely the weakest, and also just like I feel like, especially in the anime, they were trying to go for like a lingerie look, and like she
Yeah.
really just kind of came off as like this cute little ribbon squeaky girl. Like, I don't know how else to like say that.
Have a look at this. I've got it here. So this is how she looks in the anime.
Yeah, look at that. She looks like a tiny little mouse. And like, it makes sense because that's her name, but like she's just she's freaking adorable and not at all intimidating. And if she had been more powerful, it would have been a really great femme fatale moment. But like,
you get this.
the freaking thing. Oh, I love it. But she is most definitely, she's easily distracted. This one is.
Oh yeah.
She's so easily distracted.
She has a wicked scene where she look at that, where she's on the train. Where is it? Where she reports to Galaxia about her failure, and you just see the difference in like Iron Mouse to Galaxia on screen together. You're like, whoa, okay, yeah, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
You're
She's
a bleeding seal swimming next to a shark.
mm-hmm.
It does not work out well for her.
Yeah, and like even the Sailor Stars, the only reason that Galaxia doesn't get rid of them sooner is because they are basically her scouts. Like literally
Yep.
they're scouting for her. And so she doesn't expect them to turn something up every single day, but she does expect progress. She gets very frustrated with them. But you're not supposed to know that they're working with or for her. Like they're trying to save their princess, FYI.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of like what I was talking about before. How like they really open up the whole scope of the universe,
yeah.
just because there's like another princess. There's all types of things going on. But yeah,
And
Iron Mouse. Not long for this world, considering the company she gave to.
no, she's a very blip in this.
Yeah.
I have to ask before we go for it, like, because since we've already seen him, who is your favorite? Sailor Star Fighter, Sailor Star Maker, or Sailor Star Healer?
Oh.
Or do you hate them all equally?
Oh man. I actually haven't thought of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of the three of them, there's definitely more focus on Saya.
Well, yeah.
I think the other two are kind of assholes, especially in the anime version.
Oh, yes. Well, Healer is. I don't know how to. He, she, them, they. I don't know. But um, I think it's Yatin. Is that how you say his name when he's in his human form? Koi? Yatin Koi?
Something like that,
However you
yeah.
say it.
A lot of these names I can't even pronounce when I read
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. But they okay, so Faye, that's the thing. They're not technically working for her. They're working to save their princess, which Galaxia has offered to help them do. Essentially, she's manipulative like that. And also she just straight up threatens them. Like when they start to question her, she's like, "I will snap my fingers. Your princess will die, and you will cease to exist." Basically, kind of what she's doing. But like, so that's the thing that I think that the transition from Super S to Stars, because
Oh,
we get
it's
to see,
so jarring.
it's so jarring. And like the only saving grace that you can really kind of think of why Darian isn't already dead is because we saw the golden crystal. And so we're like, okay, Darian's clearly got like his own power source. He's got his like he got a massively overdue massive power buff. But right now Galaxia is basically draining his life source.
Especially when you go from Super S anime, which I think is easily the weakest of
Yeah.
all of them. Maybe because it's very Chibiusa centered, but you go
Yeah.
from that, which just really dials down everything, and then you go into this one. It's like boom. But I can't wait for this movie to come out next year, the two-parter, to
I
cap it
will
all off.
be very interested to see how they handle it.
Yeah, well, I liked how they did the Dead Moon Circus in the last movie. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I did
So
like
I
that.
got high hopes for that one. I mean, all they got to do really is just have Galaxia be a fucking dominant force, and they've won me over.
Basically, we just need Galaxia to be a dom,
Yep,
and it will be okay. But yeah,
that's actually. Yeah, sorry, go on.
oh no, go ahead.
That's so funny you say that because you look at how she dresses, and you can't fucking tell me there was not some Dom inspired
Oh,
king
there
stuff to her
definitely was for sure,
Drawn by a woman.
by a woman. Well, and the thing too is like Healer. Like the thing is when you get into the dynamics of the Sailor Stars themselves, Healer is like I can't say their Japanese names. Forgive me, guys. I think it's Yaten, but I'm just gonna say healer. The white-haired one, um, he seems to be the one most obsessed with finding their princess. And because it's almost like it's beyond love and care, because they all love their princess, right? They're all trying to save their princess. But healer is specifically like obsessed with it, to the point that it's fucking unhealthy. See, yeah, look at that. Like those look like biker chicks to me. Like,
Yeah, no bulge at all.
yeah, there's not even a little. So if you guys are looking, the one in the middle is Sailor Star Fighter. The one to your guys' right is healer with the white hair, and then the one on the left where you can like that one right there, that's Sailor Star Maker.
See, in the anime, these two are fucking assholes.
Yeah, they're complete dicks, literally.
The
And
irony of calling them dicks.
I know. And Fighter is a dick too, but like he's enamored with Serena because so the reason to give you some background, the reason that Healer and Maker are such dicks is because she's a prince. Like they figure out pretty quick she's powerful, but she's not their princess. She's a princess, but she's not their princess, and they have no love for any princess but their own. But Fighter is like enamored with her, and so the two of them get pissed at him because they're like, she's not our princess, and he's like, I know, but, and like, you know, is actually trying to pursue Serena, and so the other two Sailor Stars are freaking pissed at him.
Yeah, one thing I think the anime does a bit better is the confrontation moments between the Outers and the Starlights.
Like
yeah. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all like, I don't fucking trust you, motherfuckers.
Nope.
Whereas Serena's throughout the whole thing, like, no, they're our friends. You know, they want to help us. They helped me. Whereas, like, you know, especially Uranus is like, nah, fuck them.
Because remember, guys, when we met Uranus, she was ready to literally kill every person on the planet. Even though, like she was ready to kill Saturn as a baby. She was ready to kill Earth because why? Like, you left us in solitaire forever. Why should we help you now? Like, you know what I mean? See, this picture, I don't understand why. Is that why she didn't just leave them as men to turn? Like, look at that. Like, they. You know what I mean? Their suits, they don't wear skirts. So like why? Like I suppose that's why their Sailor Star outfits are basically biker bras and biker shorts. But like why couldn't you just leave them in something like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing to point out with this though is
love you, Jade.
Sailor Mars never really has much she's never in school with them.
No.
Because she goes to a different school and all that. And I don't know. I think that kind of gets lost quite a lot. It's the fact that she's sort of the outsider of the inners.
Yeah, very much. She already, and we talked about that before, even in season 1, she was already spiritually aware and had powers and was very determined and mature and stuff like that. She still goes boy crazy, but like she already knew what she was going to do.
She's fucking, yeah, that's something that stands out to me. I like how Pluto pretends to be Saturn's mother in school as the nurse.
That's great.
Yeah, that's funny.
They're like, you're the one that looks the most like her. What does that mean?
Oops, I put this upside down.
Oh, hey, you know what? That's okay. You guys can get used to. I remember the first time I picked up a manga and it was backwards, but it's actually not. Like in Japan, that's how they read. So I was like, why is the book backwards? This was a misprint. And like, no, it wasn't. Oh man, the horror element is not quite as severe as bits of that horror element sneaking through again. Like, look at that. It's Darian's hand melting.
Yeah, that's fucking nasty, man. She has fucked up dreams. Question about the dreams. Galaxia fucking with her?
No, I think that's Darian literally trying to reach out and beg for help because he can't do anything. Like that's what I'm saying. if Super S had not been set up where Darien is basically like the king of dreams and he has a priest in the dream world, so Darien is now the guardian of dreams on for Earth, and he has a priest who, maintains Elysium for him and everything like that.
Yep.
And Darien has the golden crystal. If all of that had not been set up, I would have absolutely believed that was Galaxia fucking with her. But because he can only, like, even when Helios was trapped in that cage, he could still reach out via dreams.
Yep.
So I think that was Darien tapping into that kind of power, but not really being able to control it because of the curse that's coursing through him, and trying to tell Serena what's happening.
There's Chibi Chibi making her appearance.
Cute. Her
I seriously can't help but think it's I don't know, maybe I'm looking way too much into this, but part of me thinks that Chibi Yusa and Chibi Chibi was supposed to be the same character. And then they were like, we've gone off the deep end with Chibi Yusa. We need a new one. Because look at them. They're very similar.
They were incredibly similar, but she is more like the innocent child that you could forgive making mistakes type deal, whereas Chibi Yusa was just irritating as hell. But even
I think Chibi Chibi's pretty cute.
She is adorable. And she's also stupid powerful, guys.
Oh, yeah, she's fun. In the anime, she comes in clutch in one moment. She saves Sailor Moon.
She does. Which, can I point out, Chibi Yusa never actually saved Sailor Moon.
Nah, she just fucked everything up.
She did. Like, even the parts where she, like, combines her power with Sailor Moon. At no point does Mini Moon save Sailor Moon or Serena, like in either form. She's held a gun to her head. She's stolen the silver crystal. She's tried to sleep with her dad. She has tried to break up Serena and Darien. And she has put Serena's mother under a spell so that she had somewhere to stay.
For free.
And like...
Free later.
And does...
And she wants to fuck a horse.
Yeah, and she wants to sleep with the first boy that comes along and calls her pretty. She's like, oh, I guess I don't need to sleep with my dad anymore. Like, this is... Mini Moon is just... At no point does she do anything where she comes in clutch. Ever. Like in R, when she turns into Dark Lady, Pluto is the one that comes in and saves everybody. Pluto's the one that comes in clutch and sacrifices herself. In Sailor Moon S, it's Saturn.
Yep.
Saturn comes in clutch. And then in Super S, the one that basically revolved around her, it was Helios and Darien that came in clutch. Like,
reject Chibi Yusa, embrace Chibi Chibi.
Right? And it's just, oh my goodness. And I think probably what honestly happened is because she had already been getting backlash for Chibi Yusa as being overused, as being, sort of like a gimmick, and was just a very tired trope basically at this point. I think you're right. I think she had planned to keep Chibi Yusa in this series, but imagine that, she listened to her fan base and they were like, we need something different because Chibi Yusa has been through too much and is too old, and like there's too much conflict there for her to really add anything to the story.
Poor Mama Bear.
I know.
I still think it'd be really cool if there was some like little story where she met Queen Serenity.
Yes,
or, like,
I would
Queen
love
Serenity
to
appeared to her in a dream or some shit. It's like, hey, you got 5 minutes? Let's talk.
Yeah.
I learned Chibi Chibi.
She's just adorable. She's freaking adorable.
The way they're all looking at her as well, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're definitely like...
last one that rocked up, fucked up the space-time continuum.
Right? It's like, Pluto, does she have a key? What's going on?
Everyone hold down the kid while we search it. Look at this panel here. That's awesome. Mercury.
She was calling us sailor soldiers as if she knew we have sailor crystals. This is why they're thinking that she is like Neo Queen Serenity and King Edmond's second daughter. But
yeah,
then,
I mean, it makes sense for them to assume that.
oh yeah, especially I mean she's got the little buns in her hair even though they are in hearts, but
Yep. Hold on, where's my there?
The universe is a big like that's the only thing that's the thing about this particular series because yes it opens up the universe and the galaxies and stuff, but if anybody should know that there's other princesses and other sailor soldiers out there, it should have been Pluto because she like time is not just in our galaxy, time exists everywhere.
I thought the same thing, but I think what that comes to is, she's kind of stuck at that door that whole time.
Fair.
Look at how she dresses. She's definitely a top. I know we've gone over this before, but she is the top by far.
Definitely. Yeah, Uranus doesn't like to relinquish control at all, ever.
Oh, no. Look at that. That's more chibi.
She's got a spork and a spork. Oh my god, a fork and a spoon, and she's like, "I'm ready to eat." Who's the kid?
Yeah, that's your little sister. See, back under another spell.
Back under another spell.
See, right from the go, they're like, "Yeah, it's a child. She's a little baby."
Yep.
Which is what they should have done with Chibiusa from the get-go.
They really should.
Oh, do you know who got a little bit more attention in this volume as well? Luna and Artemis.
Yeah, they do make a little bit of a. We even saw Diana a little bit earlier.
Yeah, even though it doesn't work out well for them, but they're still in here, which is good. Now this ends up being pretty important.
Yep. Did you bring it from Mom's room? What is this? Yeah, I'm not sure why Serena went default factory settings after Darian left. Like, it's like her brain fell out of her head.
But I still like this part though, where she's like, want to sleep in my bed with me? Just resorts to like mama mode.
Yeah.
Very, very wholesome. Very wholesome. The cards now, I'm 90% sure these aren't in the anime.
I don't think so. I don't remember it happening anyway.
I'm pretty sure in the anime, it's just she's constantly complaining how she never gets any letters back or anything.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, it's like little clues being given by the Starlights to like try and help her.
Yeah, because they can't outright. Yeah, they can't outright defy Galaxia because she could destroy their princess. But they also can't. They also pity Serena. Like, this is the first planet that they actually act on their pity because they've pitied other planets before. But with this one in the manga, at least, like they act out on that pity. Well, at least Fighter does.
Yeah. Plus, he's got the hots for her as well.
Yeah, he's got the hots for her.
And they in the anime, it takes a lot longer for them to realize who each other are.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this one, it happens. I think it's about to happen pretty soon. Actually, like they just outright transforming right in front of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a little joke here that I like. I think we've gone past it actually. So this is when the Starlights transfer into their school, and they're getting all their classes and shit like that. And one of them joins the book club. No, sorry, the computer club. And then Sailor Mercury's like, I've been in the book club I've always wanted to be in the computer club for as long as I can remember. And now that I'm here, it's just filled with dudes that just play video games. And now we have a fucking pop star in here. This is some bullshit. She's getting angry.
Yeah, she wanted to do like programming, and I think Mercury secretly wanted to use the computer club to like hack stuff without getting caught.
Yeah, she was a Julian Assange of her time.
Yeah, and then she's like, all they do is play computer games.
Now this part in the anime is very different. He's singing a song to Usagi in the anime, and this one she's singing about her princess. So that's pretty different because she's up in a Ferris wheel watching in the anime as well. And this is where we get what's her name? Sailor Siren. Is this when Sailor Siren attacks?
Isn't this Lead Crow or is it Aluminum Siren?
I think it's Siren first. Yep, that's Siren.
Yeah. Can I
Who
talk? Can
what she dresses as?
do you have? Hold on, I am gonna look her up really quick because, um, Sailor Sailor Siren, I love her outfit, and I love the coloring that they do in the anime. It's like literally my favorite color, blue, and also, god dang it, of course that's a bad one. Hang on. Um, the thing too is, there we go, that works. One moment, we're gonna swap screens really quick,
Yep.
but just for a moment. Like look at how just like she's just breathtakingly beautiful, but also I have never seen this repeated anywhere, and I think that this was such a simple yet brilliant take on on a tiara or on like some type of marker for a sailor
Mhm.
scout or for a sailor soldier. um and I'm like, like this was actually quite brilliant and very tastefully done, and I just love like the blue and the purple. Like she's just absolutely breathtaking. And then there, of course, are the Galaxy Power bracelets or cuffs, rather.
I think one thing that always stands out about the 90s anime is the coloring.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's so incredible. And I think that's probably my biggest gripe with Crystal. The coloring is just off. It's not as vibrant.
Especially in like the first season of Crystal, you're like, nah, this ain't it. I
Yeah,
think it got better, but it's just not quite the
it's
same.
it's not, and it's just it like when you go from the vibrant '90s to the sort of like it looks what Crystal looks washed out. Oh, here we go. This is the other one.
I
So
think
this
you could
is
say the same about going from Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super. I don't reckon Super looks that good.
I don't either. That so yeah. So you've got Lead Crow. Like look at
Yeah.
this, Lead Crow and Siren, and like this is almost like she almost looks like Mars. And quite frankly, I feel like she was kind of supposed to be similar to Mars because Lead Crow gets a little bit extra attention in the panels
Yes.
even. Um,
Yes.
and then you've got Siren, who when her cloak comes off, like you see that she's strapped in this getup, right? But like there's barely anything drawn by a woman,
Drawn by a woman,
barely
a
anything
married
here.
straight woman.
Married straight woman, but like you just get these glimpses. And for a long time, I didn't realize these were gills. I thought they were feathers. Um, but the detail, especially because you've gone through 5 seasons of some very like one thing to say about Sailor Moon's villains, they are all really easy to identify, and they all very unique characteristics about them. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
not there's not like you could argue, oh well, she sticks to like reds and blues and purples. Okay, but that's like Japanese culture. Too. Like reds, blues, greens, yellows are very prominent colors, and like it's a switch because over here red is usually the bad guy and blue is usually the hero. But
Mhm.
over there it's the opposite. Um and so red is your champion and blue is your villain. um and so like with Mouse you had sort of this timid, uh still definitely like she had the ties and everything like that when it comes to her outfit, but she was sort of just white. But then you get to these two women who are extremely vibrant and colorful and different. Like I said, Lead Crow has her tiara type deal going on here, but Siren's always really stood out to me.
What did you think of in the anime how they have that TARDIS thing that they use to escape in?
uh, I think I think that creativity could have been better spent elsewhere. Like I don't
It
think that
was
that was
weird.
it didn't need
Um,
it.
one thing that I thought was really weird in the anime was the way Sailor Galaxia keeps ringing Sailor Mouse. Like whenever
Yes.
Sailor Mouse turns, there's a phone ringing. She's like,
Yep.
"Oh fuck!"
It's always right behind her. And I'm like, why can't
Yeah,
it just be like in front of her or to her left at some point? No, it's literally always directly behind her.
That's just some
Um,
90s cheese for you, that stuff, man.
yes, and it's brilliant, and we love it. But yeah, there's so much good to love here, and even uh, someone argued once that the Amazon Quartet kind of looks like Siren and Lead Crow, and I'm like, not really.
No,
Like,
I don't
again,
think so.
it's the color. They're like, well, the colors are the same, and it's like, not really. Again, that's more of a Japanese culture thing. Like, Siren and Lead Crow are very much their own characters.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing that's very identifiable with the quartet is look at their hair. They got
Oh yeah,
ridiculous hair that, by all accounts, defies the laws of gravity.
gravity. Yes, absolutely. It's so ploofy.
We're talking about how powerful everyone in this one is. Fucking boys. And this is just from Siren. Siren takes out Jupiter and Mercury.
Yeah, like without breaking a sweat.
And this just goes to show you how powerful Galaxia is as well. Because like if Siren, who yeah, so first of all, everyone that works for Galaxia is also absolutely fucking terrified of her. And then you have Siren, who takes out two of the inners, being Jupiter and Mercury, right? That's still not good enough for Galaxia. And then Galaxia just fucks her off like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So that's two of like the inners, that were there since volume 1, gone.
Like desecrated. Like, look at that. That's what I'm saying. It's not near what S or even like R and S were, but the horror elements are definitely back.
I think a lot of the horror is also just, we spent 4 volumes being like, they can overcome anything. But you get to this one, and it's like, they're getting their ass beaten at every turn.
Yeah. This is also, I think this is the shortest.
This volume is really short,
Yeah.
this one. We're pretty much, I think we're actually over halfway.
Yeah.
Or close to, anyway. Now, a little bit off topic, though, was I also found it interesting how in the anime, this is the one that changed the intro.
Yes, it is the one that changed the intro.
And the intro, I think, is actually everyone that worked on it in a weird way saying goodbye, because this is the final season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then we get the Starlight transformation as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's like, "You transformed." No kidding. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand. Like, why are you shocked by this at this point? Like, they've not been. They didn't run away screaming in fear when aluminum siren dropped down. They didn't. Watching 2 sailor soldiers get snuffed out in front of them didn't freak them out. Like, at what point, really? Like, but the thing too is Amy, who is not like. I don't.
Yeah, they killed the smart one.
Yeah, they killed the smart one. But like, how did Amy not figure it out beforehand? Like, when everything was going down, it would have taken her half a second to be like, they're not running, they're not screaming, they don't even look surprised. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think it's also the fact that this is the first time she's also been starstruck as well? Because she's like a uber fangirl as well.
That is true. Yeah.
There's the long necks again that we're always talking about.
Maker, fighter, and healer. And it's really weird because like they fight Galaxia's minions, but not to like the death. Never to the death.
Double agent bullshit going on. Yeah. Okay, now that I think about it, I'd probably say Fighter's my favorite.
Really? That snake in the grass who's trying to break up Serena and Darian?
One thing that you can say about him that you can't say about the other two is at least he actually cares.
Yeah, that's true.
These other two are like, nah, fuck it, leave her to die.
Yep. Multiple times. They're basically like, if she can't pull through with this gaping hole in her chest, then that's her problem.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Granted, he's a bit of a home wrecker.
Yeah.
But there is also a care factor there.
More than a bit.
I can kind of I can kind of understand his attitude. You know, he's gone for the whole that whole fake it till you make it, or dress for the job that you want.
Dress for the job you want, yeah.
So he just keeps acting like he's her boyfriend. So if I just keep acting like I'm her boyfriend, eventually she'll just say, fuck it, you're my boyfriend, right? I respect the commitment. But you're a home wrecker.
You're a home wrecker. And Serena's got a ring, y'all. Like, Darian, like, we kind of blew past that panel, but, like, Darian put a ring on it before he left. That's what Serena keeps clinging to this whole time. Even when Fighter, like, leans down and kisses her, she pushes him, like, he kisses her, she pushes him away after she's like, no, Mama-chan, and like she's like Maramu, and like pushes Fighter off of her and like clutches her ring and is like, no.
Serena kind of just gets kissed by people that she doesn't want to be kissed by all the time.
Right? Freaking
Uranus just stuck her tongue down her throat.
Yeah, I was just say Uranus.
She did it as a power move, like, oh, you're the princess out here? Come here.
Yep, pretty much. And then, you've got Fighter over here who's
now
to, like, leave Darian with one kid. First of all, okay, assuming that I would be the kind of hoe who would be disloyal, I never would. Disloyalty is, like, I have a bit, that's probably why I hate Fighter so much, is because here's the thing. If you think that somebody is loyal and dedicated and in love, then one of two things is going to happen when you go up to that person and tell them your feelings for them. One, either they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yes, I'll go with you. And then they were not the person you thought that they were anyway. Or they're exactly the person you think they are, and they're going to reject you. Those are the only two outcomes that are possible. So either you get rejected because they are exactly who you think they are, or they're nothing like you thought. You've been in love with a lie, and then they leave that person to go with you, and now you're stuck and you're miserable because you will forever be wondering if they actually love you, or if they actually will stay with you, or if you're going to be strong enough to make it through this, because now you doubt their loyalty and their dedication. And like, it blows my mind when it comes to this stuff. It's not like she and Darian broke up of their own accord and he swooped in after. He's very much actively trying to come between these two people and their relationship. And it will prove nothing other than Serena is exactly who she has been for the entirety of this series, or she's nothing like that and finally does something that is like selfish and self-destructive and goes off with Fighter. I absolutely hate Fighter because he is attempting to usurp that kind of deal. But
in the anime, he keeps going up to her going, you keep telling me you got a boyfriend, but where is he? Yep. I haven't seen him.
Yep. And then she's like, he's in America. He is. He's an American, or he's in America. And then he's like, well, for how long? And she's like, a year. Well, why doesn't he talk to you? Because he's busy and there's a time, she's making excuses, but she has no idea that Galaxia has got him in captivity. Neptune does. Yeah, Neptune kisses Maramu too. Yeah, like it's like the outers have a thing. Like Neptune and Uranus, like that's probably why Pluto is the one that takes on the motherly role of Saturn, if we're going to be real, so that Saturn's not just walking up to people and as a power.
You have to a hose. I'm going to raise the kid.
Right? Like we don't need her walking up to someone and sticking their tongue down their throat so that it's a power play. Whether it's a guy or a gal, she's sticking her tongue down the throat. But if I was to be a hoe, like the disloyal kind of skank that exists in the world ad nauseum today, I would most definitely not go for Fighter. I wouldn't go for and I do like DBSK, Dongban Shinki, is one of my favorite K-pop bands, and this was way before the K-pop craze that took over America. Like DBSK is fantastic. I love them. They're wonderful. And they're a lot of fun, and they have great like each of the individuals in that group was just really good on their own. And could kind of stand on their own. But the fact that he thinks solely, like, literally at one point, he tries to use the fact that he is a pop star to impress Serena to cheat on Darian with him.
I'm rich. Come with me.
Pretty much. Like, it's freaking insane. And so, as much as Uranus is a home wrecking hoe, which is hilarious because she can go stick her tongue down Serena's throat, but the second Neptune does something, she gets like uber jealous. Like, it's just so, the dynamic there is ridiculous. But then you have Fighter, who is literally actively seeking to break Serena, so that he can have her for himself. And I don't like that. That is not a good dude. I don't care that you're searching for your princess. I don't care that you wrote a song singing it to your princess to try and seek her and find other sailor scouts or sailor soldiers to join the cause to help you locate her. I don't care about any of that, because even if that is a noble quest, what you are doing to Serena is more vile than, outside of rapey dude from R, whose name escapes me.
Yeah.
Like, he is on par with that guy. Fighter is on par
I
with
don't know
that
about
guy.
that. That dude was pretty messed up. He stripped her naked, then redressed her while she was unconscious.
True. Well, Fighter would have done that if given the chance. In fact,
Yeah,
doesn't
but I
he,
think
like,
she would have
see...
preferred to do it while she was conscious.
Well, like, doesn't he see her, like, he... Maybe I'm misthinking, but I swear he sees Serena, like, sleeping, like he watches her sleep or something. Yes, that is right. Japanese name was DBSK, Korean name was TVXQ. You are correct, Faye. Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
you
glad
supposed
I
to
have
remember
another
that.
fan, another DBSK fan in the chat. Yay!
I wanted a 1v1 between Sailor Mars and Sailor Crow.
Oh, that would have been fan-freaking-tastic.
I
And it
really
would have
think that
made
was a missed
so much
opportunity.
sense. Yes,
Yeah.
it would have made so much sense because, like, Mars has her ravens and her fire power, and then you've got Lead Crow, who is literally like she's a crow and she's got her powers. Like, it would have been so good.
They do fight, but I wanted like a full like 1v1 between them.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been lit. Now this made me laugh my fucking dick off. Fucking slap. And then the best part about this, where is it? If you look at, oh god, I missed it. Oh, you can see her rubbing her cheek. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. So
like,
she gets
"Aw."
slapped, and then when they're all standing over here, she's holding her cheek. Oh, that fucking hurt.
Uranus brought her ass back down out of it, like snap the F out of it, Venus.
Yeah.
Like,
She slapped her cheek like she was clapping her cheeks.
hey, yo. But, like, the thing too in the manga, and I think that the anime just didn't know how to handle this. Basically, what happens when they transform is they die. Like, their male bodies just cease to exist, and they take over female bodies. And then when they go back to being males, the female bodies complete. So, like, these are literally two different bodies that are being inhabited basically by the same soul. Faye, what do you... Oh, you mean of DBSK? Is that who you're talking about, Faye? For my favorite group member? Or are we talking Sailor Stars? Like, I don't know, because, like, Sailor Stars is technically a group. And clearly we've established that I hate Fighter.
Oh, look at this. This part's awesome. Oh, it's a magnifying glass. She's like,
sorry.
When she jumps up to defend Sailor Moon and whips out the sword.
Yes. She's like, not my princess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we learn about her empire.
Some of the battle scenes in here are some of the best out of the whole series.
Oh yeah, this has some of the best parts as well. You learn about like the Galactica Empire and all that, and how she's just taken over and gone fucking skits.
And it's a shadow empire. Like, that's the thing too. The Sailor Stars are actually not stars anymore. It goes in, like, The manga goes into much more detail. I think the anime briefly touches on it, where they're like, we used to be stars, like literal stars. And then our princess Fireball, who was also a star, like her light faded, and so we came hunting for it. Like, it's just, the whole thing is actually really intriguing. Still doesn't excuse Fighter being a fucking homewrecker, but
From memory, I should remember. I've been rewatching it, but I don't think any of the meteor showers are in the anime either.
no, I don't
Which
think
is how they, get to Earth is through those meteor showers.
Mhm.
And one thing that's definitely not in the anime is the way the Outer Guardians have their own like a Fortress of Solitudes that they go to in this one to try and put up a barrier for Earth. Nah, that ain't gonna stop Galaxia. Galaxia don't give a fuck about no barrier. Where are we at?
Oh, and through this whole thing, by the way, like Serena is trying to figure out essentially like how to continue going on without Darren. Like at one point, I think it might be the anime instead of the manga, but she's like, I keep forgetting you. Like it's starting to get harder and harder to remember your voice. It's harder for me to remember your face. Like, what if I forget about us? Oh, like, yeah, right here, literally right here, where she's like, she's trying to remember their love and their commitment and their devotion. So
you get wholesome chibi moments as well.
Mm-hmm.
And two of her friends just died right in front of her. And that's when was the last time? I reckon it was all the way back in Volume 2. Was the last time we saw death like that.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
They just got fucking obliterated right in front of her as well. She's seen some shit over these stories.
Yeah, she's really been through it. And
one thing about losing Mercury is Mercury was the first one she found as well.
Yeah. So they got rid of the smartest one and the strongest one, like the physically, like literally the strongest one.
I don't know. Losing Mercury though, that's definitely a blow. That's a fuck you blow as well, because that's the whole.
Because she was always able to figure something out to make, to help them overcome the enemy. Yeah, exactly, Faye. In the anime, she says she's starting to forget Mamaru, like Mamoru. Blah, 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 blah. See, I can't say his Japanese name.
Look at that! Just grabs her.
Mamoru. Yeah, see, like this is what I'm talking about. She's like, Mama-chan, and she's like, no, I don't want to see the rest. And like he kisses her forehead, and he's like, no, but I want you.
So this dude's just walking around with Sailor Galaxia trading cards.
Yep.
Funny. That's when they start showing off like who the villain is, Galaxia. And one thing this one does well is they spend a lot of time reinforcing. They keep telling you, and it's a bit of a tangent here. I think in media a lot these days we get told a lot about how great or how awesome or how powerful someone is, but we never actually see them do something full on. Whereas in this one, we're constantly being told, "Oi, don't fuck with Galaxia." And then when she is on page, she fucks shit up.
She actually lives up to the hype.
Yeah, she lives up to the hype as well. And even when she's not doing anything, she's still just intimidating. And you got to remember, like, a lot of the villains throughout this whole thing have been like larger than life type villains. Like one was literally a fucking planet. And then Barrel's just towering over her as well. Whereas Galaxia, she's average height. And she's not exactly strong, like physically bulky or anything like that. She ain't, she ain't an Abbyzilla or anything like that. She's just another woman. And everyone's just so terrified of her because of how powerful she is. And then I think that kind of makes her a little bit more freakier as well, is the fact that everyone's so terrified of her. We see her do crazy amounts of damage, and then you look at her, and then you're like, she looks like she could be a good Sailor Guardian. So it's kind of like the whole What if Sailor Moon went evil?
Yeah, it
That's
really is.
that's kind of what we're dealing with here, and that's just something
Essentially.
that she's never had to fight. And they keep bringing that up as well. It's like, so we're fighting other Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fuck, I've seen what Guardians can do. I know what I can do,
Yeah.
and we're
And
fighting
these are
more of them.
and this is from a galaxy that they don't know anything about.
Yeah,
Like they had
look at that. That's what I mean.
yeah, like the Dark Moon Circus still existed within their galaxy. The uh the Nightmare Realm was still within their galaxy. The Dead Moon Circus, the Dark Moon from R, like all of that was still within their galaxy. It was still within their realm of understanding. This is from a completely different part of the universe that they have no understanding or grasp of, really. And yeah, Galaxia looks like she will just stomp your shit in.
Yeah, and then we learn about stars as well. What do you think of this one?
Star seeds.
Yeah.
I think it's a really intriguing idea, like that, because you're sort of getting back into like the heart crystal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that that this is more like the heart crystals were obviously like their heart. The star seeds are really their soul, like their very essence. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why you find out the starlights, that's why they have different bodies. Their bodies literally get destroyed and then recreated when they come back to them. So it's really fascinating to see. Look at that. Oh my god. Curl looks like she's about to tear
That's
shit up.
scary, eh? Something about it. I don't know. This is one thing the series has always done well, is when they put like, when they go hard on the black ink.
Yeah.
Villains look fucking terrifying like that one. Oh, this is interesting. This is when Ray's like, "Hey, I'll go to school with you, and we can go talk to these fucking assholes ourselves." And she's an Uber fan, like a borderline stalker fan that has like a notebook of like, right, this is where they'll be at this time. I follow them religiously when I thought they were just cool pop stars.
She because remember, Sailor V is a pop star herself, so of course she like idolizes them for that as well. But like we don't have Amy anymore. So Amy could have figured this out, but solely because of who Mira is, because of who Venus is, she's like, I know where they're gonna be. Don't ask why. And don't look at my journal.
Yeah, they're doing girl shit. They have a nice little moment here talking with each other. That's nice, considering two of their friends just died. It's good that they get to talk to each other.
Right? You're like, you think we're next? Probably. Odds are yes. Odds are yes.
How cool's that?
Mm-hmm.
And this is when they have their mini little throwdown here. Now, they would have got fucking destroyed in that fight.
Yeah.
2-on-3. And this is when Crow arrives, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
This was fucking awesome. What did you reckon of this? I want to hear your breakdown of this.
I think that this would freak me out if I was Mars, because Mars can talk. Like, remember, guys, Mars can talk to birds. Like, this is her. These are her birds that are like gonna kill her. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, bed scene.
I thought this was fucking crazy.
This was insane. Yeah, like outside of the words of, even with Lead Crow being like this ominous force and going hard in like with the creepy stance and stuff. This by far, no other villain or villainess has been able to screw with Mars to this level.
Yeah.
Like this is got to shake her to her damn core.
Yeah, this is why I think I really wanted that 1v1, like full-on throwdown between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because that would have been nuts, man. Like this, even though this was great. This is probably one of the best pages of the whole volume as well.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how wholesome this one is. Even Chibi Chibi.
Chibi Chibi. I love it. Look at her cute little heart buns. But yeah, I love when, because even Uranus is looking rather femme fatale, feminine in this pic. But yeah, they're just so like they're just ethereal. They're gorgeous. Pluto's the only person I know that can pull off green in that shade.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing too. If this show had come out in current day,
Oh, they would be hideous to look at. They would
they
all
would
have
be
fucking dicks.
so, yeah, they'd be hideous to look at, and Pluto would be a raging SJW. So would Neptune. So would Mercury. Mercury has short blue hair. That
Yeah,
is, and
say no more.
but she is a considerate, intelligent, thoughtful, wonderful human being, and she's a freaking princess and a sailor soldier for the Moon Kingdom, and she handles all of that with grace and dignity. There's no
Imagine
way.
how much of a bitch they would turn Mars into.
Oh God.
Because
Oh
she's
my
always the
God.
fiery one that's always going off about shit.
Shit. Oh, it would be so bad. I'm so glad.
She'd be a Karen. They just turn her into a fucking Karen.
God, they really would. I am so happy that this was an anime in the 90s.
Let's go through it. Okay. So, yeah, blue hair, SJW, easy fix. Karen.
They wouldn't change anything about Rini. Rini is already just their ideal, like, she wants to have sexual liberation and sleep with her dad and feel no shame. She wants to be important and live through other people's stories and lives as if they were her own, without doing any kind of work or having any kind of sacrifice or investment on her part. She has to know everything but not share it with anyone. She gets all of the cool gadgets, all of the cool toys, access to everything through nothing other than the fact that she is a spoiled little brat who wants it. She would not change.
Spot on. I reckon Jupiter would be the I don't need no man type.
Yes, 1000%.
Saturn, bestest ever.
Bestest ever. Oh, also Jupiter would no longer cook and clean the way that she does, which is that's the whole point of this. She's extremely domestic, which is really like that's a surprising characteristic about her because she's so tough and upfront and strong and is such a fighter.
Yeah, she's into like gardening and shit like that as well.
Yep.
Jupiter would be a man, maybe.
Amy would have a half-shaved head.
Yeah.
So yes, Saturn would be best
Venus.
She would be the.
Nah, Venus would be a fake Me Too acclaim. She'd Me Too someone. She would she'd be the type of actress that gets into a role. With some big time actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then cancel him with some Me Too bullshit.
Yep, absolutely. And she would be she'd be singing about. She would pull a Christina Aguilera and get up there with a bedazzled dildo strapped to her front.
Yeah, she'd do weird shit like that, but she would definitely pull a fake Me Too.
Absolutely. Neptune and Uranus, they would.
Sorry, you cut out.
Like Uranus would be shoving her tongue
you cut
down
out,
Neptune's.
Sorry.
Oh, did I? I was saying Uranus and Neptune would be even more lesbian.
Oh no, they would be the type of lesbians that like don't shave their armpits and shit like that.
Yep.
We're coming for you kids. They'd be those types.
Absolutely. And
Pluto, she'd have half her head shaved.
Yeah. Or it would be like, or no, she would have that same color green. They'd be that same length, but they'd be dreads.
Yeah. She'd be like a full, I'm a free spirit.
Yep. That would be Pluto.
God willingly, Chibi would be in child protection services.
God willing, God in heaven. It'd be so bad. Quite frankly, they all need to be in child protective services because these are all technically like none of these girls. Uranus is 19. Neptune is 18. I mean, Pluto is technically ageless and she's like technically in like her late 20s or whatever. But in this incarnation, none of these girls are over 15.
Pretty fucked up when you think about all of that.
Just saying.
And I don't think we need to say what they would do to Darian.
Oh God, he'd be in the story even less than he already is. But yeah, he'd absolutely be a cuck. They would have made him sit there and watch Fighter make out with Serena.
My wife's boyfriend's coming over. I should clean the house.
Guys, so bad. So
Jesus
bad.
Christ. Anyway.
I'm so glad that's not the reality of the situation.
Now, I know I'm not the only one that thought this. This whole panel is just boobs.
Yeah, no, it's 1,000% just boobs, but they're nice
Okay,
boobs.
cool.
They are very
Yeah.
well drawn.
So do you reckon like they're just sitting down drawing and she's like, I'm just gonna do a boob panel. I haven't done a boob panel in a while.
Yeah, I think so, quite frankly. I think because this is such a... Here's the thing. I know plenty of boys who read Sailor Moon and it wasn't for the story. You're the
Oh, I
exception.
totally believe that.
You're the
I
exception.
totally believe that.
Yeah, no, they read and they watched Sailor Moon, but it was not for the story. So Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon was egalitarian and equal before that was all the rage in mainstream because there were boobs for the boys and stories for the girls, and
it's got everything:
girl power,
princesses, tits. The dude's pretty powerful. There's some lesbian representation. There's trans representation. It's just fucking everything's going on in this one.
Yep.
Long before it was my diversity.
Yeah, and yet SJW still want to cancel this because Darian and Serena... because Darian and Serena's true love story is problematic. Literally, that's their issue. Because
I'll play along. How?
The Sailor Scouts are too pretty. Like, girls that age are not that pretty. Okay. Maybe you weren't, but girls that pretty at that age do exist. And Serena and Darian's true love story is problematic because Serena never gets to explore. Like, Darian was older. Darian took advantage of her. Serena never got to see if there was someone out there that would have been better for her, because now she has all this responsibility thrust upon her and she was born into this destiny and she didn't have a choice. And that's just wrong. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you realize that Darian was literally put in the same situation. And actually, they did have a choice. In their previous life, they genuinely fell in love with each other. And it just so happens that destiny ripped them apart. Serena's mother saved them all so that they could hopefully find each other in the future. But that was not guaranteed. That was not written in the stars. And there's even a part in the anime where Chibiusa disappears because the future is changing. And Chibiusa does not come to exist. That is in this particular series. And so the future, that's when they realize that the future is not set in stone. And that's when Sailor Pluto explains that, do you remember that hallway and it had all of the doors? Well, those are the different possibilities and outcomes, but they usually stay locked. That's why Rini's key getting lost was such a big freaking deal. Because if the future changes, there's not anything Pluto can do. She just has to protect the course that they're on from it being altered severely. But when the people in that timeline, like Serena, like Galaxia, like Darian, through their own choices, change that timeline, there is nothing that Pluto can do.
Wouldn't they love Galaxia though? Because she's a strong woman. She's too hot.
Yeah, she's too sexy. There's too much dom going. It's the same reason. Oh, what was it? Resident Evil, The Village. What was her name? The vampire chick.
Oh yeah,
Lady Demis. Yeah, she same vibes. The SJWs hated her too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, they hate
There's definitely
Galaxia.
a reason why they focus most of the marketing around her.
Yeah. And this again, she's watching them get ripped in half and then dissolved into nothingness. And then you've got this, I honestly believe, because, Serena's living is in a living nightmare. This is Darian attempting to tell Serena that he's still alive. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. At first I thought it was Galaxia fucking with you, but I totally forgot about how the last arc set up all that dream stuff as well. But this is crazy because this is all her inners are gone.
Yeah. Dust. Stardust.
Even all of them are gone. It's literally just her that's left from the originals.
Yep.
That's pretty fucking out there.
This is devastating. When this happened, I was literally I don't know what the F's going on.
That's why I like this one. Is this one, I think, really made you think that, holy fuck, they're going to lose.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going to happen, honestly. I thought that maybe Galaxia would absorb Serena or vice versa. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Galaxia definitely has like a sex room, doesn't she? Like a dungeon.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
You know what? Good on her.
Those cuffs are not just for show.
They're multi-purpose cuffs.
Yeah.
Good on her. You know what? Good on her.
Yeah.
Why not? If you're taking over the galaxy, why the fuck not?
Dude, Uranus's face in this one, like even Uranus didn't think that was possible. Look at her face. She's like, what the F actually just happened? Like all 4 of them have been dusted.
Yeah.
And like Neptune too.
5 of them.
Yeah, like Neptune is over there. She's got her hand covering her mouth. Like that's how shocked Neptune is. She's like, what?
Yeah, then you have them. Wow.
And so now you've got, it's just the outers with their princess.
Yeah.
And like they just witnessed what happened. They don't think that they can.
So
like, what are they going to do?
Getting that before, like every time she's on screen or on page, something fucked up happens.
Oh yeah, you never once question if she is in charge or in control or powerful, ever. And it's not because she sits there and like gives this huge monologue. She just dusts your ass.
And that's why another reason why I think this is definitely the right final story arc.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, they've spent 4 story arcs getting stronger and stronger. At the last story arc, they outright come out and go, you're probably more powerful than Queen Serenity at this stage, right?
Yeah.
And now, like, this is what we're seeing where they're just getting fucking dusted. So it's just like, if they kept going after this, I don't see how they could make a villain more powerful, more intimidating, and more badass than Galaxia without it being fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it would completely undermine this entire series, this entire section. Sailor Stars would be like, it'd be like, oh, I guess Galaxia wasn't that big of a deal.
And the reason why I also think that she's probably the best villain as well is because the fact that she's a Sailor Guardian herself. So we've seen all these different Guardians get more powerful as the story goes, overcome all these different threats. So what's the one thing they haven't fought? One of their own.
Yeah.
So we'll throw in one of their own that's just fucking
Beryl. Like Beryl was a defender of the Queen, but she was never a Sailor Scout, or at least we're never told that she was a Sailor Scout. Beryl was like a friend of the Queen, of Queen Serenity, and they were friends. And then Queen Serenity got all the attention, got all the adoration, got all of the everything basically. Like that's what Beryl alludes to. Like everything that you have should have been mine, right?
She's a jealous bitch.
Yeah. So it's not that. So Beryl used to be friends, like they were best friends with Queen Serenity before she became queen. And then when that happened, Beryl was like, well, this is like, I want all of the love. I want all the attention. I want the power of the crystal, the silver crystal in the Moon Kingdom. And then it caused Beryl to go on this path of jealousy and torment and death to get what she wanted for herself out of envy. Okay, I will say that Rini looks pretty cute in this panel, mostly because you have like, again, this is like Serena's like, look at this. This is welcome home, Princess Usagi, small lady, yay, cheers, and it's like,
oh, if only they knew what she fucking done.
Ugh. I mean, technically, don't they though? I guess not at this point. Even though they should.
Not at this point. Yeah, no, they wouldn't. See, time travel, it's confusing.
Yeah, it's one of my.
Because a lot of the shit that she pulled wasn't on these versions of them.
Yeah. God, I hate it. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have got to be so intelligent to write time travel trope.
But I think this is awesome as well because we're back in the future. Back in the future. What the fuck doesn't make sense? We're in the future. And they're all like, why the fuck is there thunderstorms going on when it was bright just before? It's like, because Galaxia in the past is fucking dominating motherfuckers. Yeah. And this is when we get old school volume 2 Sailor Pluto being like, oi, there's some bad shit going on. And of course, Rainy has to get involved because Chibiusa's trash and somehow What are you gonna do against Galaxia? Fuck off. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. And quite frankly, like, let's be fair right now. If Rini had never gone back to the past, so to sum up, if Rini had never sabotaged Crystal Tokyo and gone back to the past and undermined and sabotaged her mom and dad's relationship before they were her mom and dad, the space-time continuum wouldn't have been effed up. Princess Fireball never would have been in, like, you guys realize, I don't know that we've actually made that clear. Rainy's fuck up did a ripple effect into this other galaxy. Like, she fucked with stuff so bad that it showed Galaxia says, she's like, I saw what I could do. I saw how powerful I could be through this glimpse. All because Rini had to fuck with the time stream.
She's the real villain of this whole
She
thing.
really is the villain of this story.
Look at that. She just laughed.
Mm-hmm.
She's so good.
So good at being bad.
Yeah. I think we're starting to get towards the end as well. Yeah, we find out that they're pretty sure that Galaxia is hiding out in the center of the universe.
Yep.
That's fucking awesome, man. The fact that she's in the center. Oh, I forgot about this one.
Aww.
I didn't think much of her.
It was like they were trying to bring back Iron Mouse, kind of, but
yeah,
like, you know.
To me, Siren and Crow were the best ones.
Yeah. Also, they were pretty sexy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would wear those outfits if my boobs would stay in place. I would 100% cosplay as Siren for sure. Because I love that color, I love that outfit, and her tiara is my favorite.
All right, now this is where they go to like their own like mini fortress of solitudes on their own planets.
Yep.
I love it. I love seeing them go to their planets. Like, we never actually see Mars go to planet Mars, Jupiter go to planet Jupiter, and all that type of shit. And now we see the Outers going to theirs to try and build up like a barrier defense around Earth. And they're pretty skeptical. They're like, I don't even think this is going to work. But they're like, fuck it. We got to give it a shot, man.
Yeah.
It was just cool to see a bit more, I guess, space travel, especially from the Outers, because the Outers, especially these bottom two, they were already doing this.
Yeah, they were. And like, this is a reminder too, because like here, this right here, Monarch of the Silver Millennium, ruler of the solar system, like, these were the castles where they were born. Like, these are their kingdoms. That, like, remember, guys, all of these scouts are princesses of their own planets, and they swore fealty to the Moon Kingdom, the Millennium ruler, the Silver Millennium, and agreed to serve the moon. So, like, that's what makes Darien so unique as well, because there is no Sailor Earth. It's Tuxedo Mask. Or it's the Prince of Earth, and that's why Earth and the moon were never supposed to like intermingle and all this other stuff. But like, yeah, I love this part, because that means that Mars, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter all have their own castles.
Fuck yeah, they do. So yeah, they're going through it. They're all like, hey, we got to try and build up a defense, and they got like computers to try and talk to each other through and all that type of shit. It'd be a shame if Sailor Galaxia was going to fucking rock up and go, nah. It would totally be a shame if she was to just appear there and be like, I'm going to stop this. What a tragic turn of events. Especially when you're going after like Pluto as well, because...
Yeah. Pluto is a different kind of blow.
Yeah, man. Like, you've just fucked up space-time continuum by taking her out as well. And... between the three of them, you'd have to say Pluto's the strongest one.
Absolutely.
The argument always comes down to Saturn
or Pluto. So, and I think the reason that she goes for Pluto over Saturn is because, remember, this is Saturn's third incarnation, and she's still a child. Like, literally still a child.
Yeah, she's right there.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So if you take out Pluto, who is protecting and nurturing and is essentially the mom for Saturn, Saturn becomes a much easier target.
See, she's a smart one.
Vicious, just straight up wicked and vicious. There we go. I can talk.
You can talk.
It's getting past my bedtime.
You got this one. Ah, here we get the princess.
Princess Fireball. She's
she
pretty.
is.
Yeah, she's pretty, I guess, but she's not Serena.
I love this picture.
It doesn't.
How good's that one? That's a wallpaper right there. All right, so the princess. Yeah, I wanted to see her character be fleshed out a little bit more in this moment, but I think she achieved the goal of helping. She's kind of an exposition dump, in my opinion. But I think it helps highlight the fact that this universe is so much bigger than what we've been led to believe, and the fact that she's the one that explains like, hey, Chibiusa's fucking got some mad fucking powers going on here that we don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Chibi, it's a Chibi. And she just kind of helps reinforce how powerful Galaxia is and how much on a fucking warpath she's on.
And then you find out a little bit about Chibi is... I don't know that... Chibi is not stronger than Sailor Moon. But she is damn close.
Do you think Chibi kind of looks like Diana a little bit as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I've made that connection as well.
That's Luna and Artemis
and
Diana in human forms. And they get fucked up.
They do.
We haven't seen them get hurt this bad since when they attacked Brainwash Tuxedo Mask.
Yep. And Diana gets in that scene, the one you just saw when Diana was in cat form, that right there, that scar that's on her head, it's because of what's happening in the past. It's their future selves are being destroyed because of what's happening in the past. Because again, Rini had to go and slam open fucking doors.
It's still shit that's not hers. Yeah, so what do you reckon of the princess?
I am underwhelmed.
Yeah,
that would be the best way. I think she's very I get that she's a beacon of hope for the Starlights. I get that she has a different approach than Serena. I get that her name is literally Princess Fireball. So clearly she doesn't have moon powers, right? But my biggest issue with her, I think, is the fact that outside of being the motivation for the Starlights to do things, she's really just a figurehead. She doesn't it's not like she adds to Serena's powers. And like you said, she's basically just an exposition dump.
Yeah. She's just there to be like, wait, Galaxia is crazy.
Yeah.
We know where she is.
I'll go and talk to her. For the longest time, I thought the two of them were sisters.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Right? I would have liked that to explore that, but oh yeah. See, Fighter just doesn't know when to quit.
Persistence is key, Lady G.
Nope. Persistence gets you smacked, lethal. Hard. Oh. Macany Draws, thank you so much for the cute little hardy dog. Thank you. For the $2. I appreciate it so much. Oh, you're so sweet. Macany is incredibly talented. If you've not checked out Macany Draws YouTube channel, go.
Hello?
It's absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, he's a fucking amazing artist, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh look,
they can just be born again with the damn trying to kiss her, and he's literally telling her that life changes, you can move on. If stars die, they can just be born again.
That's in reference, though, to her inners being taken out. They're saying, hey,
Yeah.
that's just their physical form that are dead.
Yeah,
Because
I
that's
know.
so much fucking better.
Yeah, see this whole thing. Fighter is very much a double entendre because he's saying this about her inners, but he's also saying that like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if your old life died, like your old future that you were expecting didn't happen, and something new was born out of it. That's the double entendre from this conversation. I hate him.
You gotta admire the confidence, though.
No, you can admire it as a dude. I think he is a snake, and the fact that Serena even entertains him because she's just that naive and stupidly kind, it really irks me because, like, if anyone, okay, perfect example. Jade had to leave. She's not here anymore, and I don't know if I've got any other like fellow female vets in the chat or not. And I'm not knocking you if you're not, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. But like when you're in the military as a female, the ratio is like 99-1. Like literally it's 99 dudes to every one chick. Now in the Air Force, it's not quite that bad, but in the Marine Corps, that might even be a little bit low. I kid you not. Less than 6% of the Marine Corps is made up of women. So like the ratios are just absolutely insane. So the thing is, if you're a chick and you're easy, you're going to get laid a lot, but you're also going to just have like a miserable time and everyone's going to call you a slut, basically, because you're easy. But like if you're not, dudes will be like, hey, you don't need to be with him. You should be with me. And like, we'll have this great relationship. And it's like, no, go away. Like persistence is not key. Persistence makes you an asshole and borderline sexual assault. Like Serena did not ask for any of those kisses. And I'm not usually the one where it's like, oh, you have to ask for consent for every single thing. Like sometimes you got to shoot your shot and just like take the kiss. Fighter has been rejected multiple times at this point. Multiple times. And this boy still ain't taking the hit. He irritates several of them piss out of me. He's not a good guy. But I'm glad you like him, Lethal, because he is definitely exuding that Chad energy. I'll go ahead and say that. This guy, got to give him props. You can't keep this man down. That is for sure.
Yeah, I like that about him. Don't let it get to you, buddy. You miss every shot you don't take.
He's missing every shot he does take as well. So, maybe just stop.
Chibi.
Woo! Swings.
Oh, no. See, this is what they should have done with Rini.
Yeah. This is adorable and wholesome and sweet. I actually kind of like that Rini is suffering in the future. That's what you get, bitch. Like, this is your comeuppance.
That's what you deserve.
But see, what... Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's just nice having wholesome Usagi back.
Yeah. Well, and also, the thing is, like, Chibi, because, like, Serena has nobody. Her inners are gone. She thinks Darian is in America and not picking up her phone. Rini is back in the future. So, like, it's almost like...
She's alone in a weird way. All her friends are dead.
They're gone. Pluto has been smoked, and she doesn't know it. Yeah.
Yep. And she's lost her daughter. Well, she hasn't lost her, but she's gone back to the future.
Her daughter is gone. So now, like, it makes sense that she would nurture Chibi because as much as Rini got on her nerves, it was still her kid. It was still her daughter. It still had that companionship. So of course she's going to lean heavy on Chibi. And now Darian is gone, and you've got Fighter trying desperately to fill Darian's shoes. And I'm sorry, but you can never fill Tuxedo Mask / Prince Darian's shoes. It's just not possible.
You can try.
You can try, but you're going to fall short every single time. But like it makes sense because her inners are gone. Her outers are about to be dusted, and she doesn't even know that Pluto has been taken out at this point. So she has the Starlights, and she's got Chibi, and she's got Fighter attempting to be that like emotional rock for her.
I love this part though, where she's like, what is your deal? Like, you're a Sailor Guardian, but who
Mhm.
are you? Who are you really? She's like, I'm
Yeah.
me. Like, that's just the cutest answer you could possibly give. But at
Yeah.
the same time, the most vague answer. Like, you've been asked outright. Look
Yeah.
at that. She does the Usagi face. Eh?
Mm. Eh?
Look, I just had one little kid fucking run circles around me. Don't you start. But it was still nice to have that little wholesome moment. Holy fuck, this. The confrontation. Now, this, in my opinion, does two things really good. It, again, double, triple, quadruple downs on the fact that don't fuck with Galaxia.
Yeah.
But they mentioned something about Sailor Moon in this part. Be like, yeah, that's pretty fucking hardcore, actually. So basically, she gets fucked up.
Yeah.
Galaxia is all like, "Wait, look at me, I'm fucking crazy. I'll fuck your shit up." And this is like a direct confrontation. So she's been fucking with her mentally, for a while now. And now she's all like, "Yep, here I am. What are you gonna do about it?"
Pretty much.
Look at that.
Oh,
I mean, this is what I was saying before. Like, she could pass off as one of the allies.
she could. She really
But-
could.
And that's
She
why I
doesn't
think she
want
makes
to.
for a great final villain. It's like, you are the one thing they haven't fought, which is one of their own, which should essentially be one of their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're having like this, like, little moment here. And it gets pointed out that Sailor Moon doesn't actually transform. And she still manages to kind of stand up against Galaxia.
Yeah.
Kind of. She gets rocked.
Oh, she does, but she does not. She gets her world is turned upside down. But
It's more of a mental attack, isn't?
Yeah.
No, it's more of an emotional attack. Really.
Yeah, but but then she still gets back up. That's the thing that's really impressive. She gets back up.
Yeah. And this might be my favorite part of the whole volume. Is when this here. See, that future, will that ever truly come? This is what I mean by the fact it's more of an emotional attack on her. Because, she's like, hey, I've seen the future. I know how this is going to work. We're going to be okay. And she's like, no, you're not. Fuck your future.
Pretty much. And then Chibi grows freaking wings. Literally turns into a cherub.
Yeah. See, it just helps strengthen the mystery of who is Chibi. But I love the way Galaxia is just talking down to her constantly. Your planet is doomed. Everyone around you is dead. You can't stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bring up the fact that she never actually transformed. That's impressive within itself. And then we get this little flashback.
And he's scooping her up. Like, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't he like watch her when she's unconscious? But I don't think he changes her clothes though. So you're right. He's like a half a step down from creepy rapey guy in whose name I can't remember right now.
Well, the creepy rapey guy attacked her. This is them picking her up off the ground after she's been attacked.
Yeah, but
context.
Healer wants to kill her. Like, Healer straight up is like, let's just end her misery for her. It's like, damn, your name is literally Healer. What are you healing? Like, are you sure it's not Killer? Like, my God, Healer hates her. Healer loathes her. And that's because he only loves his princess.
Simp.
Yeah, he is a simp.
This part is amazing as well. This is her dream that she's having here. I just love the fact that Galaxia is just chilling in a bar, listening to all these people talk, and she's all like, you're all fucking scumbags. Now, did this give you Wise Man vibes?
Yeah, very much so. But to be fair, it's a cloak and cowl type thing, and that is also very in line with Sailor Moon, because even Xerxes was sort of like, yes, it was still like a cloak, when Xerxes opens up her cloak, and you see that it's literally a black hole in there. So I can accept the cloak and cowl kind of thing, but it's very much Wise Man with that, but the eyes are sort of the Negaverse from the first season.
Yeah, interesting.
But that's just me.
Yeah. The chaos part, that's going to be really important in the next volume. So remember that chaos part. And she's basically waiting for like Sailor Moon to rock up so she can fight her here as well. Because she talks about it. She's like, she seems to have this weird level of respect for Sailor Moon as well. She's like, that planet's not good enough for you. So she kind of acknowledges that she's powerful. And I think she actually sees a lot of herself in Usagi as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, and she keeps saying, like, you just haven't, your eyes are closed. Like, you haven't seen the truth out there. And this is what I was saying at the start of the stream as well. And the way, like, when you see her, she wakes up, she's normal.
Yeah.
Like, she's not some evil fucking, must destroy everything,
Like, I legit thought that this was Venus or Pluto even, like when she woke up. And then I was like, that is neither of them, actually.
And before she can even put her fucking socks on or put the kettle on or whatever you do in the morning, it's like, oh, by the way, I failed our mission. And she's just like, hasn't even been up for 5 minutes. Time to kill someone.
Yep. By the way, the reason she's saying, hurry up and come to me, Sailor Moon, is because that crystal that you see that's floating on her balcony, that's Darien. Did you ever figure that out, Lethal? That's Darien.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she's saying, drawn here, like she's trying to entrap Sailor Moon. The thing is, Serena doesn't know where they are. Like, it doesn't matter that she is aware of, or that in the very beginning she saw Galaxia take Darien. That does not matter. I know, Faye, but I'm gonna say Darien because it's easy for me. Mamaru. Mama-chan. I can say Mama-chan. Just whenever it's his actual name, for some reason I tumble over it. But yeah, so remember, Galaxia wiped Serena's memory of her taking Darien. And Serena has no idea that Darien's, like, she would have come running a long time ago if you were like, hey, I've got your boyfriend. Like, would have 1,000% chased Galaxia down. But she doesn't know where Darien is. She still thinks he's in America. Oh, God, creepy.
She's just this constant threat as well.
Mm-hmm.
That, even just going over this now, there's just so much I love about Galaxia as well. This is heartbreaking, this part. This part is heartbreaking. She's talking to her mum. She's like, hey, can you watch over these cats for me? This is this is Luna's boyfriend and their kitten. Can you watch over these cats for me? I got to go out for a little bit. She's like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. And then when she walks out the door, she gets this motherly instinct. She's like, I don't think she's ever coming back. Mm-hmm. That's rough.
Yeah. And so remember, the Outers, she genuinely believes the Outers are at the castles in their own planets.
Yeah.
She has no idea that Pluto just got vaped.
Yeah, well, they're about to head there now. First one they go to is Uranus. Of course, you go to Uranus first, that kiss she gave you definitely left an impact on you.
Yep.
And they're like, whoa, what the fuck? What's going on here? Where is she? Where is she? And then they go to Neptune. And by that, I mean the planet Neptune as well. And they go looking for Sailor Neptune, and they see the TV screen. Well, basically it's surveillance.
Yeah.
And they're just seeing everyone getting destroyed. Like, that's Saturn as well, and they're getting fucked up. Pluto's gone. Everyone's just dead. They got Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Saturn, and Mars, and Mercury, and Jupiter, and Venus, and your boyfriend, who's got the golden crystal.
Who's got the golden crystal? Yeah.
It's just you. That's all that's left.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucking and the Starlights as well, who you just met as well,
and can't trust because literally they have been Galaxia's henchmen. Like, they're what Galaxia has been following because she's looking for a fireball as well. Like, it's, oh man, like Serena is genuinely alone.
Yeah, they've taken everything off her. They spent the whole storyline building her up as this all powerful chick. And in one volume, they've gone, nah, taking it all off you. We've just shattered everything around you, destroyed it. That's why I kept saying, like, at the start, like, again, it is because of, how mainstream comic books came in my time.
Mm-hmm.
So there is definitely a lot of Thanos and Bane in her
Yeah.
in Galaxia. She's like, I will break you in every single way. And that's exactly what she's doing. But, you know, she's like, I'm going to come fuck you up as well. This is like the first. No, I take that back. It's not the first time, but it's one of the rare few times where you see her be aggressive.
Yeah. Like, she is out of F's to give.
Yeah. Yeah. Went down to the fuck store. Not a single one left.
Yep.
It's 9 o'clock. The fuck store closed at 8:30. What a shame.
Dang. And then, of course, Galaxia's like, I'm going to show you the truth. But it's just,
Yeah.
like, oh, man. This is such a good volume. Like, we've been going back over it, and I really do have far more respect for Galaxia. Because, you know, for a while I thought, but also I think it's because my favorite movie is R.
Yeah, that's mine as well. Yeah.
So, it, and again, it's because, like, there's so little Rini in it. It's very refreshing. But, this is just such a wonderful series because, like, Galaxia she knows all their tricks, she knows all their powers, she knows how they think, how they operate, how they work. There's a reason she went for Pluto first.
Yeah.
There's a reason she went and there's a reason she took out the smartest and the strongest of the inners first. And then, you know, like physically strongest of the inners first. And then took out Venus and Mars, who, like, Venus is, of course, in the manga it's established, but in the anime they never really do. But Venus is the leader of the Sailor Scouts. She has the sword. She has she was entrusted to protect Serena's heart. Above all else, she had to protect Princess Serenity's heart. Because if Princess Serenity's heart ever became corrupted or tarnished or broken beyond repair, it would be the end of the Silver Millennium. And so, you know, you've taken out the two people who have always managed to outthink and outmaneuver. And then you take out Venus, who is there to protect Serena's heart. And you take out Mars, who in her own way protects Serena's heart by trying to toughen her up and be hard on her and to, you know, sort of knock the childishness out of her. So now that's gone. So her inners are wiped out. And her outers, who, even though after Super S, the inners could probably take the outers on, it's very much alluded to that the outers are more powerful.
Oh, yeah. I'd give it to the outers in a fight.
So now her outers are also gone. And she didn't even know what happened. She thought they were simply back at their castles.
They got fucked up.
Yeah. And so now she is legitimately alone. Rini's back in the future. As much as I hate Rini, I mean, right now she probably would have been leaning hard on Rini for some support. So she has Chibi Chibi, and she's got the Starlights, and she's got a Princess Fireball, who, excuse me, has not exactly, even with all the exposition dump, Fireball has not, I forget, it's like Kyoko
or some
Kyoko.
shit.
She's not exactly been very forthcoming, nor very helpful in terms of actually fighting. Just saying. So
it's very it's like she's too hardcore to be a Sailor Moon villain.
Yeah.
And yeah, she is just fucking everyone's shit up.
Mm-hmm.
I think she helped set the standard of what your final villain should be.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I still feel that this is the best final villain they could have come up with, because anything after this would have just been stupid.
Yeah, agreed.
There's an even bigger threat than what we're looking at right now.
Right, exactly.
And the fact that, and it's more so in the next volume as well. And again, this is long before the whole sympathetic villain thing was overdone.
Mm-hmm.
Giving her the backstory they gave her as well, the motivations that they gave her.
Mm-hmm.
Like she wasn't just like a barrel who's just, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Gimme. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I love characters like Galaxia, and like Darth Kaitos, I think, is the greatest Star Wars character ever written. The fact that they could just like look at like a situation and go, I have to do this. If I don't do this, something even worse will happen.
Yeah.
And then they slowly start to become more and more corrupted by it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love these types of characters. But
Yeah.
Galaxia takes it to a whole nother level.
She really
And
does.
I really want to dial down on the point again that the one thing they haven't fought is what essentially should be one of their own.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Galaxia.
Exactly. Absolutely. Perfectly put. I think gosh, the I think Jade said it earlier where it's like Thanos, I'm gonna wipe out half the population. And like Galaxia laughs in universal genocide, planetary genocide. Like she does, she's merciless. Like it's pure evil. Look at that picture. She's just she's so powerful and a warning about what can happen when you become consumed by power and by the cause. You know what I mean? It's like Serena is never in all the power ups, and Serena's had some. She's literally knows she's about to be queen of the earth, but she's never once. That's the other thing that I don't think we've ever talked about. Never once has Serena treated people like less or used the fact that she is the future queen of earth to her advantage as her younger self. She's never allowed that to corrupt her or to forget who she is.
Yep.
And that's part of the reason that we love her, because you tell anybody else, you show them their future like that, you show them that they're going to be the most powerful entity in the galaxy. I mean, who's that? Of course it's going to go to your head. But like Serena never uses it to try and control people or belittle them or put them in their place. It's just literally her being herself and loving the people around her.
You can't help but wonder that if Galaxia had someone like Usagi in her life, she wouldn't have gone down the route that she did.
I think you're right. I don't think she would have. Oh, Abigor, love you. But Lethal and I love us some Sailor Moon. These are some of my favorite streams ever. Because I love Lethal and I love Sailor Moon. So it's good all the way around. Yeah, Faye, I don't think in the manga or the anime. I don't think Fireball does any fighting at all.
No, I don't think she does. Which is a bit of a disappointment.
I think she yells at one point. She yells at Galaxia, but that's about it. That's all. Which again, because it's not really like, this is a different universe. This is a different princess. She's not a warrior like Serena is, like Queen Serenity, OG Queen Serenity was. That's not who Princess Fireball is. She's not a fighter. She literally has a Sailor Scout named Starfighter. Like that it's not, she doesn't, that isn't who she is. She is legitimately an inspirational figure for her people, and they defend her because they love her. That is who she is.
Yeah, as opposed to like Serenity, who'd be like, yeah, I'll fight him myself.
Yeah, it's like, I will protect my people. I will bleed for them. It will not be the other way around. And it's like, I don't know which one. I don't know which way is better. Maybe a compromise of the two, because like I think Serena, like the scouts more than once get in between Serena and danger for sure. They're like, protect our princess. Like, so you have that going on, but also Serena will freaking toe to toe up and whip out that silver crystal and be like, let's go, bitch.
I think the best example of that is her showdown with with Saturn at the end of that storyline.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, what would you rate this volume?
Gosh, I'm gonna have to give it a 9.
Yeah, that's what I'm giving it as well.
Like, it's taken everything, because like there have been the great thing about this story, and you alluded to it, like there's nowhere to go after this, but the thing is, everything has sort of been building up to these, like the stakes always mattered previously, and this series does not undermine the previous series at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that's very hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yes, like we said, you look at Galaxia and you can compare it to Barrel, you go, that would be a very short fight.
Mm-hmm.
But the events of like fighting Barrel still have ripples going all the way through to the end.
Yep. And so I just love how this has sort of tied it all together. And, you know, Beryl was like her mother's best friend and became jealous and envious. Galaxia is, you know, she is a sailor guardian who's lost her way and is using her powers for something that they were never intended to be used for. And so now Serena has to decide if she's going to basically give into that temptation of tapping into the crystal in a way that you're not supposed to and becoming Galaxia to defeat her, or if she's going to believe in herself enough to be able to defeat Galaxia on her own without her inners or her outers, her child or her love, her true love. Like this has all literally been ripped away from her.
Yeah, this is the time the good guys lost.
Yeah, by a lot. Like it's not even like, it's not like, oh yeah, you know, it's not like, oh, we lost Mercury, or oh god, we
took
we
some
lost
lumps.
Yeah,
It's like, no,
but we still have each other. Yeah, like it's just, this is basically, actually now that I think about it, this is essentially that when they were going to meet up with Beryl and she wiped out all the inners before Serena got to her.
Yep.
That's essentially what's happened here, except Galaxia just took them out in the very beginning. Like she didn't even give them a chance to adapt. She just took them right out.
Yeah, she's a psycho.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't here to fuck spiders. Yeah, it's a solid 9 from me. I think this is one of the best ones.
And the artwork is just gorgeous.
Oh, it's so good as well. I mean, the necks, we laugh at the necks, but that's very easy to look over.
Yeah, and it is, you know, the thing too is when starlights are in their boy form, their necks are much thicker. Like they're more masculine necks. They're thicker, they're shorter, they're less slender. Even though Mama Chan had that longer neck in that one panel, but they all had like freaking goosenecks going on in that one. But specifically, I think it's also to sort of help you realize that they are two different bodies, two different existences. Which makes you wonder, like, if they go back with Princess Fireball, like, do they stay as the Starlights, or like, do they go back into their other bodies? Because Serena, at no point have we been given license to think Serena would be in a lesbian relationship.
I don't know, man. That was a pretty solid fucking tongue punch she got from Uranus.
Fair. Well, I'm just saying, I'm glad it didn't come to that, and I still hate Fighter because he's a homewrecker. But yeah, I have to give this one a 9 because the setup and the story and the fact that it's able to push the story as a whole further, but not undermine the stakes that came before this. Because, you know, Beryl was going to take over the Negaverse was going to consume the Silver Millennium and you know, take over Earth. Like, those are some serious effing stakes. You know what I mean? And the Dark Moon was going to take over the future and rule the future and destroy Crystal Tokyo. Really, also severe stakes. Then, you know, you get into S, and you've got heart crystals, and you've got, you know, this like, basically it wouldn't have even been that Earth was going to be ruled by anyone. It would have just been like a dead rock. And then you get into Super S, and now you're fighting on like this ethereal plane of dreams, like the power of dreams, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So like at no point, like, so the stakes from none of these other, the stakes from all these other series do not get undermined by the fact that this is an all-encompassing threat of all of those stakes, which is very impressive.
Yeah. It's like you see it. I think Dragon Ball Z would be an example. I love Dragon Ball Z, but by the time you get to the Boo saga, it's like, oh, so everyone else would just get their shit stomped. Everyone else has become irrelevant.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, this was, oh, man, it's such a good volume. I can't believe we're almost done. I'm sad. I'm sad. But these are, I know I've said it before, these are some of my absolute favorite streams, but we've only got 3 volumes left. It's hard to...
I think we got 1.
Aren't there 12 volumes? Or did I fall on my head?
I think we're doing the no, I'm pretty sure there's only 1.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Oh well, we'll do the movies after.
Yeah, we will do the movies after. Spoiler alert, R wins.
Yeah.
Dude, the soundtrack for R is also effing incredible. Like,
that's got the best final song as well.
It does. Like, it's so good. And it's Dave Bob, hi, thank you for coming.
Hello.
Yeah, I think Sailor Stars definitely has a few weaknesses and a little bit of unnecessary flourish, but not anything that is not anything that would completely undermine the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. I just love a good ending. To me, a good ending can really...
Yeah.
So many times I see something that has a shit ending and I'm like, that's a bit of a downer for me.
Right.
And everything about Galaxia just screams final boss.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's the type of final boss where you think you've beat him and then... Yeah. Like the screen starts to the screen starts to shake and the Latin music kicks in and they like rise back from the ashes and you're like, shit.
I really can't wait for the movie next year.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm also intrigued how they're going to portray Chibi Chibi in that.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm really curious about the whole setup because honestly, I would actually be all for the stars either being women all the time or men all the time because frankly, I really want to see male Sailor Scouts. Like, we only ever had Tuxedo Mask. So, especially because Fighter is attempting to replace him, if the Sailor Starlights were to be like, I don't know, like actually males, it would be even more so of like a fill-in for Darien, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
But either way, I don't care. I just really hope that the artwork and the coloring is on point. Well,
based on what we saw with the trailer, I think it's looking good. It's looking decent.
It does look really good.
The start of Crystal, it's hard
rough.
To look at.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Crystal's very dull. Like when you compare it, like look at your Tuxedo Mask and My Jupiter from the 90s.
Yeah.
The current one is just, it's muted. The colors are very muted. But the 90s ones, like yours and my avatar right now, are just so vibrant. It's good stuff.
Show you this.
Yeah. So the 90s versus Crystal, like you can see it's much flatter in Crystal. Like yeah, I'm just not about it. I don't know.
I do think Crystal's improved.
Yeah, as it went on, I agree. Yeah, something about like they made the eyes almost too doe-eyed. You know what I mean? In Crystal, it's so hard. Also, Darien looks like an old man. Instead of black hair, he's got like gray hair.
Yeah, it just doesn't look quite right. Oh, that's Soul Crystal.
Yeah.
See, that one looks all right.
Yeah, that one's not bad. But that's also Super S, which is basically just rainbows all the time. Like, let's be real. In the anime, Super S is basically just rainbows. Do you disagree, Lethal?
Not real. It's hard. They're everywhere.
It's just rainbows all over the place. But I get what they were trying to do. But like, yeah, see
That's bad. That's bad, man. They should
bad.
have left
Like,
that '90s one.
the coloring, the vibrancy, this, like, it's just not there. I love the 90s edition. I really do.
So that
Look,
looks really cool. That one.
here's Dark Lady. Black Lady, Dark Lady, whatever her name is. Freaking Rini, who wants to go rape her dad.
Yep.
Yeah, it does look lifeless, Faye. There's just it's lackluster, which is sad because it's still Sailor Moon.
Yeah, it's really rough at the start. Like the last movies they did. I didn't mind them. I thought they definitely looked a lot better, and I think the next movies are looking pretty much similar to the last movie, so I can live with it. But the first season of Crystal is rough to watch.
It's very rough. Yeah. But yeah, so we have one more of these, and then we're gonna talk movies, and then we're gonna find more stuff to talk about because I absolutely love these streams.
Oh yeah, this isn't gonna stop.
Yeah, we're
find something else.
We'll find something better to do. I agree, Faye. Naoko's art definitely deserves better than the treatment that it is currently getting, for sure. And yeah, I don't know. But so I know you had the full lethal. For you it was yesterday. For us it was earlier today.
Full Aussie.
Full Aussie. Full lethal. No, we're going full lethal. We're going full lethal.
That's my only fans.
The full your feet pics.
Yep.
Yeah, when I mean, he didn't give, like, his official reason for quitting was, he got a new opportunity. But then he was like, yeah, why would I stay here when I can literally just take pictures of my feet in different settings? Like, mind blown. I will put it that way. I was like, dang, more power to you, dude. You go do you. But it's just crazy. But what do you have coming up, Lethal?
So today's Sunday for me. I don't normally do much on Sundays. I rest. But I'll probably see if I can get it. I upload on Geeks and Gamers Play, and throughout the week I'll be on Twitch and making videos for my own channel as well. It's going to be hella lit.
How come you're not on Mario Kart? With
self-respect.
Self-respect. Okay.
Active sex life.
Dang. All right. Lethal's just slaying bodies. I was just curious because, like, I feel like you, unless you don't like Nintendo, but
I like Nintendo. I got my Switch here.
There you go. I figured you could just, like, give them a run for their money. But
no, I respect myself too much to play that much Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I'm like, every time I sit there, at one point I was trolling Jeremy in the chat. I was like, the only reason you're winning is because Lethal's not here.
That's true.
And he's like, Lady Gravemaster. That is probably true, but irrelevant.
Fuck you.
But it makes me giggle so hard.
You're right, but fuck you.
Pretty much, yeah.
What about you? What have you got coming up? You started your book club, I see.
Yeah, so earlier today we talked about A Tale of Two Cities, which, if you guys have not read, it's a Charles Dickens novel, and it is absolutely incredible. And it's very relevant to today, what's going on. But it is also it's such a good story. There's betrayal, redemption, sacrifice, perseverance, true love, unrequited love that is not done with cringe. It's set during the French Revolution, sort of pre, during, and post French Revolution, and how they're like a big thing is like nobody gets out of war clean. It takes the story itself doesn't paint the aristocracies in a good light, but it also doesn't paint the extremist rebels in a good light. Because it's very easy when it comes to war, especially, to be like, okay, the good guys won, the bad guys lost. And there weren't any innocent casualties, or there weren't any mistakes or anything like that. But that's not true. The French Revolution it's gnarly. And so we did A Tale of Two Cities today, and then next month on the 23rd of July, we're gonna do Treasure Island.
Oh, lit.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of people they know about Treasure Island, but they've never actually read it. They've always told me the same thing. I've watched movies, or I've watched the TV series of Treasure Island, but I've never actually read it. And I'm like, why? Like, how have you not? So I'm trying really hard to stay away from, for now anyway, from series books. And just something that, like, stories that are standalone, that are timeless, that are classic, that have sort of been ignored. Like, anytime that I say Charles Dickens, people are like, who? And I always have to say, I know,
sad.
It's so sad. And I always have to be like, Oliver Twist or A Christmas Carol, because it's like they've never heard of anything else that he's written. And I don't know how, because it's Charles freaking Dickens. But yeah, I knew it was kind of a big ask for the very first book club, but Raj and Saibot, they delivered. They were all about it. And we had a great discussion. That's up over on my channel right now. But basically, the way the book clubs work is, if you're a Grave Master level, you have the option to come on the panel and talk with the panel about the story. And then all the other members are in chat. And while the stream is going on, it's strictly a members only stream, but then I upload it afterwards.
Yep.
And so everybody can kind of see what we talked about. And I found out Cal G, who is in many channels and is a huge supporter of so many and is a wonderful, wonderful person, did not realize that the lines, A Tale of Two Cities is perhaps the most referenced / most. Like, it is definitely up at the top. Everybody seems to know the opening line and the closing line, but not the context of those lines, or who says them, or if anybody says them. But literally, A Tale of Two Cities is the story that opens with, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And it is the story that ends with, it is a far, far better thing I do than I have ever done. It is far, far better rest that I go to than I have ever known. Like, everybody knows those lines, but like Cal G had no idea this was the story that those lines came from, that like the Shakespearean aspects of them. And it's just such a good story, guys. So if you've not read A Tale of Two Cities, I highly recommend it. And if you need a little bit of help, there are audiobooks out there. Or if you're one of those people that sort of, you can't visualize things as you're reading them, you can. I found out today on stream, actually, that there's a BBC miniseries, and there's a few film adaptations as well that you can watch to help you before you read it, if you needed it. So yeah, we're doing Treasure Island next, but I'm really today was so much fun, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. But that is a month away. So if you want to go and become a member on my channel and actually be part of the book clubs, you can do that. And just prep yourself by reading Treasure Island for next month so we can talk about it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I've got some videos that I am working on, and then I have a stream on Tuesday and a stream on Wednesday, then my normal stream on Thursday, and then I think I've got another Saturday stream next week. So next week's
Oh,
gonna be
wow.
next week's busy. But it's because I love you guys so much, and I want to do fun things, and hopefully you guys listen.
Yeah, hella lit.
So, yeah.
Right, sub to Lady G. Or
Awes.
I will start responding to the messages your mother sends me. Remember the
And
rules. I'm a gentleman. I don't reply.
There you go. That's very sweet of you. And, of course, as always, sub to our very own Prince of Earth, Lethal Lightning. Go check him out on Twitch. He does some really fun stuff over there. And he makes Mazo look pathetic on shooter games. I do love me some Mazo, but like, dang, dude, just like point and shoot. It's not hard. Aim for the head.
Any game that's not Apex, he struggles with.
It's funny.
I want everyone to succeed. I really do. But I really want Mozza to just fucking really succeed. I would love the idea of Mozza just still being Mozza, but just being heaps successful.
Yes.
Like thousands of people watching him stream in the same setup, and he just can't read the chat. He's calling everyone a fucking dog. I think that would just be perfect. Mozza is the best, man. There is no streamer out there these days that is still like Mozza. Mozza's the best fucking one.
It's so good. I absolutely love it. Oh, it's good stuff. But I think before we go, I just wanted to remind you guys, like, I love y'all so much. You're all incredible. You make this possible and worth doing. I mean, Lethal and I could just talk Sailor Moon and, let it be. But your guys' interaction in the chat, especially, is just incredible because it gives us stuff to feed off of. Oh, Faye, I didn't tell you. Hero, maybe Kongmin from DBS. It's DBSK. If you guys have never heard of DBSK, they were a K-pop. That's their Japanese name. TVXQ is the Korean name. But they were actually pretty good, and it was before K-pop like massively took over America to the level of fever that it's at right now. But yeah, so there you go, Faye. Those would be, I think those would be my two possible of like the originals, because like DBSK got big depending on where they were at, but there's like the 5 core. But chat, you're all amazing. We do this for you. It's just been so incredible. I can't believe we are rounding it off with the final manga coming up. So I really appreciate every single one of you who's been here through all of this, even when we were originally on Lethal's channel before he decided that he was going to take a hit from Mama Susan.
Yep.
And then you moved over here with us. So it's fantastic. And I really genuinely appreciate every single one of you. And I just wanted to tell you thank you. And I love you so much.
Thank you very much.
And of course, I love my Lethal.
Yeah.
So with that, we are going to do our outro, and you all have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.